Football and War by McLennan. This is Wilberforce coin. All Wilberforce coins are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, visit wilberforce.org. Read by Glenn O'Brien. Football and War. To the editor of the Argus. Sir, I feel sure that most of those correspondents who had expressed views against the paid footballers have been actuated by a sincere desire to stimulate recruiting, and are entirely in sympathy with them in trying to achieve such a laudable object. Nevertheless, I feel that the paid footballers have been subjected to some very unfair criticism, possibly by some who have always been antagonistic to the sport, but probably by more, who, though quite sincere, are not sufficiently conversant with all the circumstances in arriving at their conclusion. For instance, it may be news to the general public to know that at Fitzroy the current rate of payment is 25 shillings per man for matches in which they actually participate. Surely this is not professional wisdom in the true sense of the term. All the players are men who work at regular occupation, and no one should begrudge them the solatium they receive for the hard training they undergo and the many little sacrifices they endure in order to keep themselves fit, and to give the public the amusement derived from the best exposition of football. It is generally admitted that the call to arms has not been answered by many men who are physically fit and have no ties to keep them from enlisting, but the paid footballers any more likely than amateur footballers or baseballers or cricketers or racegoers or any other sports, or in fact the public in general? I think not. In making comparisons, it should be borne in mind that a large percentage of paid footballers are married, whereas most amateur footballers are single. The reason is that the average amateur footballer invariably retires from the game on entering into wedlock. On the other hand, when a legal association player, amateur or otherwise, gets married, his club is usually persistent in trying to induce him to continue with them, and generally the player succumbs to their persuasions. Of the 18 players representing Fitzroy in the last 3 matches, 9 are married, and of the other 9, some at least are very tired honest aspiring. If the Defense Department is really keen on inducing athletes to enlist, might I suggest that the recruiting campaign be started in real earnest, something like what is being done in England. Correspondents might devote their energies in this direction with far more prospects of success than by abusing footballers in the papers. Would any of your correspondents be patient enough to supply each football club with some recruitment posters to be placed in the training rooms, and so bring home frequently to every footballer the reality of war and the call for volunteers? Perhaps even it could be arranged for a recruiting officer to visit the training rooms, and I am sure the club executives will provide every facility for him. If sport is interfering seriously with recruiting, I agree they should cease. But what is the good of stopping football unless other sports are stopped? I have not previously played football for monetary gain, but this season I have decided to set the 25 shillings per match I am entitled to as a player, and to devote same to the relief of our Gauntlet allies, the Serbs. I have now pleasure in enclosing you cheque value of £2.10 for that object, representing the proceeds of the first 2 matches, and I will make further remittances to you periodically with 25 shillings for each match as the money is made available to me by the Fitzroy Football Club. Yours, etc. McLennan. Northcote South, May 9th. End of Football and War by McLennan.